Welcome to Palm Paradise. I'm Christiana Lilly.
I'm Portia Smith-Dejean.
And I'm Olivia Holaus.
And we're the Palm Queens. It's my favorite part of filming this.
I know. I'm still laughing, though, because it's always a little different.
What do you guys think? How do you like our intro?
You know, and we just do some hands this way, some hands are down here. But okay, we're getting lost in the weeds.
Okay. So guys, how's 2025 treating everybody? Are we reaching our goals? Have we lost our goals? Or
are we sticking to resolutions? Oh, well, we weren't doing resolutions. We were doing goals.
We're doing goals. We call them goals.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm actually sticking. So I decided I guess this is a a goal, was to try a new recipe once a week. I'm not great in the kitchen. It's not my forte, but I want to be better. So I went to my family and I said, this year, mommy's going to cook one new recipe a week. And it's going really well.
Nice.
What's your latest concoction that you made for the family?
So last night I made this, chicken miso with sweet potatoes and onions. And it was a one-pan dish.
Yeah.
But it was so good. You had your protein, you had your veggies. Everybody ate everything on their plate. All good. So success.
So now do your children go, yes, chef?
Not quite there yet, but working my way.
Tell them to try cooking. Jeez.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I don't think I want them around the kitchen.
I know. No, okay, but you know what I mean. So I've been trying to keep up with my Chinese on Duolingo, and I know you and I are friends on Duolingo.
We are.
We're trying to get you on Duolingo.
You're my only friend on Duolingo.
You're doing Italian on Duolingo.
See?
I'm trying to keep up with my Chinese, and Duolingo is a bully, by the way. If any of you are not on Duolingo, like the push notifications they send you, they're like, you're doing great, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Why haven't you done your lesson? Or it'll have your friends like send you, like my brother, it'll say like, are you going to ruin this streak for us?
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I've gotten emails where it's like, you haven't been around in a while. You pretty much suck,
Wow.
So they do
But
definitely
it's
give you a little
hilarious.
It is. It's actually a lot of fun. I like Duolingo.
I know, if you don't follow Duolingo on Instagram, even if you're not on Duolingo, it's
yeah.
hilarious. It's like the big green owl, and it like chases people around, and it's like, do your lesson.
Yeah, mi piace Duolingo.
All right. Paid off. I got really nothing, guys. I think just for 2025, all the goals are just career-based and just trying to make sure we take everything to the next level. But you know what? Let me backtrack for a little bit. I do have to find a better balance. So my goal is to find a good work-life balance.
Okay.
And not just be like 90% work, and just like from the mental standpoint, I have to find a balance.
You know what I do, and I started a few years ago, and I think it's awesome, is every Sunday I actually put my phone down for a few hours so that I'm really focused on my family, my friends, whomever I'm with that day. But, we do all have a tendency, even if you're not working, to be so connected to the phone and emails and all of that fun stuff. So I think maybe try that on Sundays.
Like that.
Put it away. Like, don't even, like, if you keep it next to you, you're still going to have, like, that desire that temptation. Just put it away.
So we wrote about this earlier in the month in Boca magazine, but a local company hosted I don't remember the exact verbiage for it, but it was basically in like a unplugged event at Prosperity Brewers in Boca, where they invited everybody from 12 to 3 to just come, and they said, bring coloring books, bring, board games, bring puzzles, or, just come and meet other people. And you can't bring your laptop, your phone, or like some sort of a gaming device. And it was a totally and it's crazy that now we have to like host a special event for that, because we're just so addicted to our devices.
No, it's insane. And, I mean, even like when I'm working out, I will leave my phone, and we're going to talk about that because we have a special guest. But I put my phone in the locker, and I see people, they're working out and they're checking their phone in between rounds. And I'm like, you've got 45 minutes. Like for me, this is my me time. We're just, I think, way too dependent on these devices.
Like the only time I'll bring my phone to like buy my water bottle or whatever is if I'm like, I'm expecting like an important call, and it's probably going to come during that time. Otherwise, I have it in my gym bag, and it's in the locker, and I'm like, they can wait. If they can't wait an hour, I'm sorry.
Most things can wait.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we do have a very special guest today.
Speaking of the gyms, you've been going to Rumble.
It's been well over a year now. Again, not a secret. I am addicted to this workout. It's so much fun. And we've got an incredibly special guest today. So stay tuned. Well, we have the legendary, iconic Johnny Bananas. You all know him from TV. He is the champion of the challenge, 7 seasons. He is also an Emmy Award-winning TV host, and he's also now the co-founder of Rumble Boxing East Boca. You are such an icon. Thank you for being on Pump Paradise today.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude,
Johnny.
thank you for having me on, you guys. Wait a minute, this isn't the Joe Rogan experience?
That's next door.
Oh, okay. Gotta call my agent. No, thanks for having me, you guys. This is awesome.
So you and the team are where Olivia's been getting all her gains.
Yeah.
I know. That's why she had to wear this more like this more frilly outfit, because she doesn't fit into her regular clothes anymore.
She's like popping out.
She needs a license for her guns.
Well, we all know this is no secret. I've written about it for Boca Mag. I am a huge fan of Rumble Boxing.
Oh, dude, we
I
love
have
that.
never felt so good in my life. So, thank you for bringing this awesome concept to our community.
I mean, I have been looking for a while to do some sort of business to invest in. I have an online merchandise brand, which has been great. I do TV, as you mentioned, but everything that I've done in the past has kind of been, I wanted to do something that was like brick and mortar. I wanted to do something that I also believed in. I've had friends that wanted me to open bars or open restaurants. And I mean, the way I see it is like, if you're going to, with a restaurant or a bar or the boxing gym that I have, you don't own the business owns you. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't want to be spending 4, 5, 6 nights a week at a restaurant or at a bar, because then you're drinking all the time.
Yep.
So what's great about Rumble is it's kind of a combination of both. You have like the fitness aspect, but as you know, you feel like you're in a nightclub when you're there.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about it. So, and again, because of the show that I do and what I've done for the last 18 years of my life, and it's actually 25 seasons. I've won 7.
Yes, you've won 7. That's
All right.
right. But you've been on 25.
But who's
seasons.
counting?
At
18
this
years.
point,
Yeah.
At this point.
And that's the thing. So much of my life involves being fit, staying fit. I mean, I'm now 42 years old, and I'm competing with guys that are 20 years younger than me.
Woo, woo, I'm 42
Yeah.
as well.
Hey, give it up.
Club.
Old dudes and girls rule.
Millennials over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, we're actually geriatric millennials.
We are geriatric. I say that. I do say
I've
that.
never heard of that.
So here's what's
Yeah.
cool about our generation is we are the last generation. Okay, if you look at kids nowadays and they say that they talk about making a phone call, they go like this.
Yeah.
Because they've never
Oh,
had
it's
this.
Yeah.
They've never
Yeah.
had this. We were the
When you
last
hang up.
ones
Yeah.
to have this.
Yeah.
Like where you had one phone in your house. I didn't have a cell phone until I was in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social media didn't exist. So we had to communicate the old fashioned way.
Or
Which is like-
chat rooms, which was like, what were we
AOL
doing?
chat.
Talking
Yeah.
with random people on
Yeah.
the internet, and then they're like, how old are you? And you're like, I'm 12.
Yeah.
Scary time.
That was probably me. I'm 12. What are you doing messing with me? But we were able to communicate. Like we understood how to communicate without a phone. Like or you walk into a restaurant or a coffee shop anywhere, and you're standing in line. Everyone's doing this.
Yeah.
Didn't used to be like
You
that.
can't just stand somewhere.
You
And,
strike up a conversation. So we understand what it was like to not have social media and technology, but we were still in a area of our lives where we were still able to learn new things. So
coding
we
on
kind of
MySpace.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of span both worlds. But
Well,
yeah, going
talking about that, so you started really early in like the reality TV
Yeah.
era. I think was it 2006 in Key West? You were in the real world.
so 2005 was when we
2005.
filmed, and then 2006 is when it aired. We were there for the craziest hurricane season in Florida's history.
I remember that. Yeah. So how has reality TV changed since those early days to now, if it has at all?
Oh, it's changed a lot. When I started, it was like the Wild West.
Right.
Anything went. And that's what they did a lot of times. Reality encouraged the most over the top toxic behavior possible, because that's what they wanted. And that's what, I mean, you look back in like the early 2000s, the late 90s, especially on MTV, that was like, Rage Against the Machine, you know,
Yeah.
climbing the rafters at the VMAs, Madonna and Britney Spears making out. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
it was
right.
kind of like that. That was back in the day when things were like very
Quote unquote wardrobe
taboo,
malfunction.
wardrobe malfunctions. So, and that's kind of how reality TV was as well. I mean, they just kind of, they would cast, I think what they would do is they would look at like, all right, we're going to look at people who are like completely psychotic and unhinged, and we're going to back it down one level from that. And that's who we're going to cast.
Is it true like the producers really would like be the not the puppet masters
On my
but-
show, no. But
Okay.
that's on reality now, because the difference between the real world and the challenge that I do is there doesn't need to be any production interference.
Got it.
Because of the personalities that they cast, because of, again, the challenge, the environment that we're placed in, it's a pressure cooker. And they intentionally isolate you from the outside world. They make a very difficult game that is just, that breeds manipulation and backstabbing
Competition.
and
yeah.
competition. They put you in there for
Yeah.
8 to 10 weeks. That becomes your reality, and it's like after a while, like they don't need to interfere. The environment you're placed in, and like the pressure that you're under, is what creates all the drama. Now there's other shows, obviously, like I don't know, like scripted reality, the Kardashians,
Mhm.
The Housewives.
the Housewives, even like a lot of the dating shows to an
Mhm.
extent. There needs to be more producer interference. Love Island, for example.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
producers, there is so much production interference in that,
Mm.
but that is why they're going to do that to, start fires and to create friction where it didn't already exist. And for us, they don't really need to do that. I mean,
So it's an authentic, real
Yeah.
experience. What we're watching is
Yeah.
exactly what's going down.
no, the producers don't interfere. They don't need to.
So I keep going back for more. I mean, it sounds like it's emotionally draining.
Yeah.
It's physically
Yeah.
exhausting.
It is,
But
yeah.
I mean, you haven't had a real job since, right?
No.
Since you started.
No.
It is a
So-
real job, Olivia.
It
My
is.
God.
Okay.
He's got
It
to
looks so
leave.
easy.
I'm a sicko. All right, let's just put that out there. I'm a glutton for punishment. I say this all the time, like, being on the challenge for 18 and reality TV in general, just living in this world where you're just constantly just getting nitpicked apart by like, every social media
Yeah.
is, one of the biggest cesspools on earth, but it's also so important.
Mhm.
It's one of the most important tools to being a public figure. But I always say it's like being on the challenge in reality TV. It's like being in like an 18-year emotionally abusive relationship
Yeah.
where they're like, get out of it. And you're like, no, you don't know them like I do.
They're not always like
They're not
this.
always this bad. But again, I also love competition. I love
Yeah.
competing. I love traveling. I love exploring new things. I mean, the season that's on right now, season 40, Battle of the Eras, we're in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Jumped off an 82-story building, drove a car off a cliff, and canyon swung out over a big body of water. And it's like, and for me, somebody that enjoys, again, competition and pushing myself, it's like I want to see every season that I go on. It's like, do I still have what it takes to to make it to the end? And that's, again, I think where that sicko mentality comes in.
It's like a personal challenge.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like balance the mental health, especially when you mentioned social media, all the scrutiny you probably
Yeah.
see? Your skin has got to be super
Yeah.
thick.
So I'm a Cancer. Cancers are crabs.
Yeah.
So we definitely have our, we have emotion, but it's usually buried deep inside.
Mhm.
At this point, I've been, exploited, wounded, betrayed on TV so many times that I've got like such a thick shell.
Mhm.
I've been able to kind of separate TV from my real life. Part of that is drawing a clear delineation between my reality television friends, my reality television life, and then my real friends, right? Rumble,
That's
for
where
example.
you get to be a soft shell crab.
Exactly. I get to be myself.
Love that.
Like
Yeah.
Rumble, for example, my business partner, John, and his wife, Lauren. John, I've known for 20 years. He actually is the one that gave me the nickname Johnny Bananas.
Oh,
You're gonna have to tell us where that came from, but finish this
Yeah.
story.
Him and his wife, Lauren, met on my MySpace page.
No way. Oh, I had no
So
Awesome.
yeah, because he basically was like my moderator for my MySpace page when I was like on the road traveling, and of course he was only responding to girls. That
Naturally.
So Lauren, I guess messaged was like, oh, I love the show. I'm a huge fan. He's like, oh, my friend John lives in New York. You should meet up with him. And then they ended up meeting up, and now
Now
they've married. They've got
kids.
2
Yeah,
kids. One of them's
Yeah.
my godson. So I try as hard as I can to keep my real life and my reality television life separately. I also the Johnny Bananas persona, or that character, if you want to call it that, is obviously something that I've created for TV.
Because you're a bit of an antagonist in the real.
Yeah, I'm an antagonist. I'm sarcastic. I don't take anything seriously. Everything to me is a joke. That is what I use, though, as a defense mechanism in a way, to kind of like keep people at a distance, especially on TV. Because if you're interacting with this character that doesn't care and that doesn't take anything seriously and everything's a joke and everything's tongue in cheek, and that's the person you attack, that's not going to affect me. If I open myself up and I'm who I really am, and I'm actually like the vulnerable me, the guy in the outside world, that person is then vulnerable. And the first place I learned that actually is once I left. I didn't leave, but once I started travel hosting, I hosted a show on NBC, and it was the first few shoots. That's how I was. Everything, the person I'd be interviewing, everything was a joke. Everything I was trying to, make a punchline, and they were like, "Listen, that's fine, but you don't need to be. Like, we got you. We're gonna protect you. We're not gonna try and make you look stupid or exploit you." And what I realized was I felt like, if people now see this serious side of me, they're not gonna like it, because they're gonna be like, "Who's this guy? Where's the class clown? Where's the jokester? Where's the prankster?"
And why are there two?
Yeah, because you want to be authentic. So
But what I ended up finding out was the response I got from people is they're like, "Dude, this is a whole side of you we never knew existed." And it was almost like people resonated with that more, because it's like, now you're a more complete person. You're not just this clown on TV that's just like, oh, everything's like a joke. So then I realized that it was like, damn, dude, like if I tap into that more, it's gonna again provide not just me with a more well-rounded ability on TV to be on reality, but to also be hosting and taken seriously. But it's gonna allow fans to resonate with me a little bit more, because they see that there is more than one side to me. It's not.
Yeah,
just
you're
two.
multifaceted.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of traveling, what would be your favorite place that you visited? Like, do you have a top?
Or are there any that you want to go
destination?
back to?
Oh,
Like, do you really
dude,
get
yeah.
to experience it?
I
fully?
mean, yeah. So I've never, believe it or not, I've never been to Italy.
Okay.
I know, and I'm Italian. I know, it's crazy. We were just in Croatia for one of the
So
seasons.
close.
And I was going to, when I left, I was going, and all the people from the show, they took a boat from Croatia to, I believe, Rome, spent a few days there and flew home. Didn't get a chance to do that, unfortunately, because I had something else I had to get back to attend to. But I mean, Croatia was awesome. I want to go to Italy. Norway was beautiful. We were just in Vietnam. I'm good with Vietnam. I was there.
Been there, done that.
Don't need to go back. Thailand. We've been to Thailand a handful of times.
It's a good time.
Yeah. So, but I'd actually say that when I was travel hosting, we went to cooler places.
I mean, I think that's like the perfect job. That
Yeah.
is such a dream job, to host a travel show.
It is until you're there. It is until you're doing it. What's hard about travel shows, and like I didn't realize this until I did it, it looks very glamorous. It's a grind. It is an absolute grind. I mean, we would travel to another country, South Korea. I had a day to acclimate to an 8-hour time change, wake up the next day and be like, all right, you're on.
Yeah.
From 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., shooting segments, traveling. I have to be on all the time, because generally the people that I'm interviewing have never been on camera before, don't really know what they're doing,
nervous,
so it's my job. And maybe more difficult, they didn't speak English. So basically, I had to ask my questions in English, have a translator translate them in South Korean. They'd answer in South, and then I have to sit there like I knew what they were saying. Then the translator would translate them back into English. So an interview took twice as long.
Yeah, things you don't think about.
And
as
then
the
all
viewer.
the jet lag.
Yeah, and I know-
Oh, the jet lag. But what's crazy for me,
especially for Asia. Oh my God. That's...
mental exhaustion is
Yeah.
worse than physical exhaustion.
Yeah.
Big
And
time.
when all day, like you're sitting there and you're thinking, because when you're doing interviews, yeah, I have the outline that the producers want me to ask, but I always go off my own tangents and listen. I'm a bad listener. I'm great at talking. I'm terrible at listening. Listening to what they're saying and then thinking of a follow-up question to ask based on what they're saying and make it seem seamless and flawless, like it's a flowing conversation. And you're doing that for hours upon hours throughout the day. By the end of the day, you're just like drained mentally.
Beat,
Then you
yeah.
go back to your hotel.
Between having a conversation and an interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
you can't interject as much.
Yeah.
You know.
So talking about places, what brought you to Boca Raton? I mean, we
Why
love
are you
Boca,
here,
but
John?
of
Wild,
all the
right?
places,
How
why
did you
Boca?
get here?
Yeah, people ask me that all the time. Like as if I'm in like, I don't know, like some random place out in like Fargo, North Dakota. So again, my dad lives in Florida. My dad's in Central Florida in Winter Haven. So I'd come out to travel. I'd come out to visit him pretty often. The first time I was actually in Boca was for my travel show. We did a shoot with the for NFL preseason. There's a fitness facility called XPE Fitness
Right.
in Boca, and we went to film there. Met a trainer there who I'm actually still friends with, works out at Johnny O's. His name's Andrew. He comes into Rumble all the time. So that was the first time I was in Boca. I got to like train with Travis Kelce and Mark Ingram and Carl Lawson and all these like awesome NFL athletes. And I was like, dude, I really like this place. I mean, went to the Boca Resort, Meisner Park, went to the beach. I'm like, this is like, it was like a Fort Lauderdale, but a more downsized kind of chill version of Fort Lauderdale, which I love Fort Lauderdale as well. And then it just so happens, right? It was right after the pandemic began. John, my business partner now, him and his wife decided that during COVID, because my godson, their youngest son, Luke, has some lung issues, they wanted to get out of New York. He has a company that he works for that has a satellite office in Boca, which is right down here off Federal and Glades. So they moved out here and they were trying to get me to move out. They're like, dude, you got to come out to Florida. Like, we love it here. They're out in West El Rey. And then Rumble franchised out to Florida. Now, Rumble's from New York. That's where it started. Lauren, my business partner, was a huge Rumble fan. That's all that she did.
She took the first class ever, right? In
Yes,
Chelsea.
yes.
Yeah.
Totally bought in. Like, loved it. I'd never taken a Rumble class before. John took a few. They franchised out. Miami was the first territory, then like Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood Plantation, and then Boca del Rey was the next territory. They were like, listen, we believe in this. We want to do it. We want you to come in on it. Do you want to snap up this territory? And we did. And at first it was kind of like, all right, now we have the territory. Now what? And then we went through this is the first business I ever opened. So we went through all of the hoops and the red tape and everything that it took to demo out the place, which used to be a nail salon, and then, build out this huge space, and then all the hurdles and everything that came along with that, finding staff, selling memberships. I mean, Lauren literally taught herself how to be a COO like in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Originally, I was just gonna be like, I'll invest some and I'll be like the face. I'll pop in every once in a while.
If you're a fan of Johnny Bananas, come
Nope.
to Rumble.
This has become a whole ass. It's like, I feel like I don't have any kids, but I imagine this is what it feel like to
It's
have
your
like
baby.
Welcome
a baby.
Yeah. Welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
what it is.
So-
It's hard
And you
here.
wear many hats.
Boy, oh
Yes.
boy.
Welcome to the
Hard
club.
here.
So originally that was the thing, is I was like, I'll come out for a few weeks here and there, maybe stay, I'll, rent a place, get a, but the more I came out, the more I realized, dude, like when I'm here, this place is so much more successful. And so then I leave and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
the energy is just different. Right. And it's just like, I have a tendency to bring a lot of energy.
Yeah, so now
into
how
the
many
place.
bring a lot of
classes
energy.
do you teach now a week?
I don't
no.
teach.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
I don't teach yet.
But he takes class with
That's
you.
Yeah.
what you were
Yes.
saying. He's with you.
Yeah.
I'm basically there almost every day, 5
Yeah.
days a week usually.
You have a presence, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to. we have members, and I think that's what's amazing about what we've created at Rumble. And this is what I think a lot of, especially boutique fitness studios, like what they strive to do is create a sense of community.
Yeah.
And we have the most insane community ever. They are so dedicated, and we have members now who have just hit their 400 class. They're going for their 500. I remember when
It's crazy.
we have signs on the wall that's like 50, the 50 club, 100 club, 200 club.
Right.
And I remember when people would hit them like every now and now it seems like every day someone else is hitting 50, someone else is hitting 100. And like I said, now we have 2 members that just hit 400 and they're going for their 500. So,
Wow.
and these people love it. I mean, they're there. It's like, I've gone to members, one of the members just had a wedding or a bridal shower. Half the people that were there were
From
people that she
Rumble.
met at
Yeah.
Rumble.
You make
it is a community.
You make gym friends.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Well-
know, and you're around people that are like, they've seen you at your worst and they lift you up, and it's great.
But it's very welcoming, and it is a great community. I am working towards my 200s. So
Yeah.
There we go. That's
we'll
more.
get there. We'll
that's
get
more,
there.
That's more than me.
And so now, before we let you
Yeah.
go, we want
Yeah.
to do some quick hit.
Okay.
So
Ooh, my favorite.
Quick
Exactly.
fires. All right.
Hold me over the coals for a little bit. All right.
All right.
would you rather do 100 burpees or 100 lunges?
100 lunges.
I'm the opposite.
All right. Cocktail that describes your personality.
Well, there's 2 directions we could go here. The appropriate route or the inappropriate route. I would have to say Irish car bomb,
Okay.
All right.
even though I'm not Irish.
And so
Or
you
a
know-
no, I'm sorry, kamikaze.
Kamikaze. Okay.
Favorite thing from the 90s?
Oh my God, the favorite thing from the 90s.
We're all gonna get nostalgic here.
Dude, I know, man. There was so much cool shit that happened in the 90s.
Well, we were young.
Hypercolor shirts. I used to love those when I was a kid. You know the shirts you like breathe into them, they change colors.
No, I missed that one too. We got to bring that back.
I know.
You should do that as merch.
Reebok pumps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Polly Pocket.
Yeah, dude. The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
And
grew
so
up in
you
a good
hacky
era.
sack? Were you a hacky sack?
Nah, I wasn't a hacky sacker. Nah, not really. Yeah.
I used to have a pair of FUBU ladies jeans.
Nice.
But you think about it, like the 90s and the 2000s were like the last, because now when you think about it, you're like, okay, like the 2010s or whatever, nothing cool happened.
Yeah.
Now we're into like the 2020s, nothing, like there was no like definitive like fashion style, fashion change.
Yeah.
Like the 80s had different music and different style. The 90s had different music and different style, even into the 2000s. Now it's like,
Well, we're pulling
Well, now
back
it's
from
all
the
coming
90s
out.
when it
They're all
comes to
calling it-
styles.
Going
what was your
back to
daughter's
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Do you know that? So I have teenagers and they call it Y2K.
yeah.
Like that's so insulting. Like you don't just put one day because it was just like when it was turning 2000
And nothing
you know what I
happened.
mean? Yeah, nothing to our whole era. But they're calling it Y2K fashion.
Wow.
That's
Well, I remember Y2K. I was that's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a mess.
I know.
All right, well, I would love for us to keep talking. Maybe we'll have to bring you back on again.
I'm
I
down.
know.
Yeah.
So
All
much
right.
fun,
Well,
John.
I mean,
hope
I'm right down the street. You know?
Excellent. Well, we're
Yeah.
all gonna have to check you out at Rumble Fitness.
Yes,
Everybody
you
else,
are.
come check him out at Rumble Fitness.
Follow us on Instagram at Rumble Boxing East Boca. Yeah, new year, new you. And
Exactly.
yeah, you guys are. This is great. I remember when we first opened. We have a mutual friend, Antonio.
Yeah.
Who was like, yeah, I'll talk to my friends at Boca Mag. Maybe they'll come and cover it. And now you guys have done an article and you had you on your podcast. So yeah, we love not just our community of members, but like the greater Boca
Right.
community. So welcoming, so awesome. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Well, we're lucky to
Thank you so
have
much.
you.
yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
guys. Yeah.
What a fun interview with Johnny Bananas. Thanks so much for bringing him on.
He's so much fun, has so much energy. It's so positive. It's awesome. So
was
I think
great.
we could have probably kept on talking much longer with him, but
I know, and I'm motivated to make sure I make it to the gym later today. And I'm gonna have to check out Rumble. I go to iHeart Kickboxing, so I'll have to go to Rumble and do the boxing upper body stuff.
yeah, it's different. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's quick, and you get an awesome full body workout.
I've
so-
really loved boxing and kickboxing, but I need to come back to the rudeness of your children.
Oh yeah, with
About-
the Y2K. Yeah.
But didn't they also ask you about some shows?
Yeah,
or like they
were
act like they
"Oh,
know it.
Have you heard of Friends? It's this great show I just saw the other night.
No,
Absolutely
Like
not.
Nick at Night, and I was like, don't do that. You're not going to tell me about Friends and like this error And like, oh, do you know about like flares and stuff like that? And Ed
Well,
Hardy is back too.
I-
did you ever get into the Ed Hardy? Like,
No, I didn't like
Ed
it the
Hardy
first
is
time.
Never got
back,
into
by
that.
the way, for teenagers.
I've seen Juicy Couture
Oh, they're back.
tracksuits.
They're 100%
are
back. 100% back. The velour Juicy Couture, 100% back.
I wanted to look like J-Lo so bad back in the day with
Yeah.
those.
I never wanted to, but
I
that's
know.
okay.
I thought she was so cool.
Never been a fan of that whole look. But even, yeah, we had some friends over for dinner the other night, and they had 3 daughters. They're all in, 18, 20, like that age range, and they did not know Sex in the City.
Yeah.
I
Nope.
was like flabbergasted. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Our
how do you not know Sex in the City?
So our
They didn't
summer
know.
editorial intern was asking me like, "Did you watch Sex in the City when it first came out?" And I was like, "Yes, I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to, but I did."
Cannot
but I guess
wait
they're like, "Oh,
for
we're
it.
watching
It
it
was an
now."
event.
I
It
know,
was.
and they're like, Aiden or Mr. Big,
Big,
and what do you
yeah.
like? And I'm like, this is a whole other conversation we don't have time for.
So what are
Yeah.
they watching now?
I don't.
The challenge?
They're watching. They're watching. Honestly, they're just watching YouTube shows. Like it's not the traditional
Yeah.
shows and TV. You know what I mean? That we're used to, or a network, or even reality TV. From what I've gathered, at least my kids, they don't really watch reality TV. They just watch YouTube streamers and stuff like that.
Wow.
It's
Like,
a different world.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers that are putting out almost like making their own
Yep.
shows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
watch some of them, like there's a couple people that I like watching. They're not in their 20s. They're like, elder millennials. I like
Yeah.
elder millennials better than geriatric
I
millennials.
mean, it's the same. It's still both all
Word
make you
choice-
feel bad.
word choice is important. But my nephew the other day, he was watching Family Matters.
Oh,
And I was
Urkel.
I know.
Oh, did I do that?
They think Urkel is so funny. And then
Oh
they
my
started doing,
God.
did I do that? And I was like, this is some wholesome 90s-ness that we
Yeah.
can bring back.
You know what? I really think we grew up in an era that really had the best shows. I
Yeah.
always say that we had the best cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids just don't know what they're missing out on.
Yeah, we could play outside and not necessarily have like helicopter parents. We just had a lot more freedom,
Yeah.
which I think made us a lot
But
more
can you guys
independent.
imagine raising your kids now with the
No.
off-leashness that our parents had, where
No,
like
I
you'd
didn't.
literally be like, I'm gonna drop you off the mall and I don't know where you are or who you're with until I pick you up
No,
again.
but we can do that in Italy in the summer. That we can do.
Ah.
Yeah. That was like really cool over the summer being able to let
Did it feel weird at first? Like just
a
not
little
knowing?
bit because Guillaume would leave in the morning and come back late at night, and we're like, I'm like, Han, like he's like, no, it's fine. It's a small town. Everybody's
Yeah.
watching over him. He's having lunch at someone's grandma's house, And sure
Ah.
enough, he had the best meals every day.
Yeah.
We didn't know where,
So
but he
You
had
didn't
the
have to
best
feed
pasta.
him.
We didn't have to feed him, but also didn't have to worry. And I think he was able
Yeah.
to be a kid. And it's definitely different here, but
Yeah,
it's life.
it's like a flashback. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, all right. Well, I think that's the end of the episode today, guys.
Yes.
And so we're just going to leave it on some nostalgia. So I want to hear from you guys. Follow us on our socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram. And then if you're listening to us right now, catch us on YouTube. If you're watching us right now, catch us on the podcast platforms and all that good stuff to support us. So thank you guys so much. Can't believe we're on our 6th episode.
I know.
Fun times. Time
Fun
flies
times
when you're having
ahead.
fun.
I know. So this is Palm Paradise, powered by Boca Mag. Bye.
Bye.